for me, you know, when I start dating somebody new and I like to be, I don't just start off right off the bat, like, watch out because I have mood swings. But, you know, when it comes down to it, it's like, where are you going Wednesday for lunch? Well, I just tell them I go to depression group, and I've been going to depression group for about 2 years now, and they usually have lots of questions about it, and you're depressed, and, you know, I say, well, I was depressed, and sometimes I feel depressed. But depression group, it helps me to have that community of people who understand, because most of the people that I date have never been diagnosed with anything, and it's hard for them, never having experienced what we experience, to know what it means, or they say, what do I do, or how do I help? And I just tell them, I really don't know, but one thing that will benefit us both is that you understand that I have been diagnosed with depression, and that, you know, that I have different experiences than you. And just for you to acknowledge that and understand that is something that we'll both learn with together.
As far as, it's not mentioned first time in a, say if I'm going on a date, I don't necessarily tell them that I'm bipolar and I could be a little schizo. I just don't tell them that. There's certain times when you should and when you shouldn't, you know, and you know, that for me has worked.
I went out with this guy, and we went out and had a great time and got along wonderfully. And then I had these books from the library about bipolar, and I just took them to him like we'd been dating maybe a week or two, and I said, "Here, read these, and it'll tell you all about me." and he never called me back.
A little overwhelmed.
We never went out, anymore after that. It was a little too much. So it's, to be wise about when you tell them and how
and in this current one, he knows, and you kind of want to be careful because you scare them off. You know, they change. Yeah. It's kind of like, if you say you have an alcohol or drug problem, that doesn't seem to bother them as much as if you say, I am bipolar, or I'm depressed or something. I've noticed just in conversations with people, you know, it's like, okay.
Big stigma attached.
Yeah.
I just prefer to date other bipolars.
What's that like?
Well, then you don't have to explain the mood swings. You just... I mean, when we're both manic, we go out and have fun. When we're both depressed, we sit and watch TV. When one of us is depressed, or, you know, when we're not cycling at the same.
You know, when I tried to get out of relationships and everything seemed to be the other person's fault. And then when I moved away and lived by myself, there was nobody to get mad at. And I was still going through all these moods and stuff, but there's nobody to blame, and it's me. You know,
me.
It's like I thought I needed to be myself until I could think about or be with different kinds of people, because I was obviously always with the wrong people and stuff. You know, but then it was a lot to learn about myself. You know, because I found I was the same whether there was people around me or not, or just one significant other. You know, my moods and everything else went on. Yeah. When I was alone, it's like, shock.
Yeah.
So, my husband now has finally come to grips with me, and he understands that I wasn't being a total bitch all these years.
Wow.
And actually, I'm lovable.
Yeah. So it took a long time after your diagnosis, even, for him to absorb that and come to terms with it. Was your husband kind of scared about the whole thing?
He didn't know. He wanted to help. He wanted to make sure I got to the doctors. He wanted to make sure that I was getting as much help as I could get. He kept me out of the hospitals. He would do the 24-hour round-the-clock watch, you know, rather than having me put into a facility. And I think that's why we've been together as long as we have, is because he went above and beyond what a normal person would do to keep me from being put into a facility.
When I'm totally depressed, I say, well, why can't you just come and say these sweet things to me and put your arms around me and let me know I'm okay? But one night he may get mad because I didn't do the dishes and the apartment's a mess. And I say, why don't you understand that today I couldn't do it? I sat there totally depressed and thinking, why am I here in this life? And I hate everything. And why do you think I would get up and start doing the dishes and clean the house when that is happening inside me? But so I expect him to understand. I want him so bad to understand and somewhat be like my mother, who totally was understanding and cared all the time, and that would come to my rescue every moment when I called her and told her I was depressed. Yeah. And always tell me, she always said I was wonderful and everything positive. And I expect him to do that and be that, but he's not that, and I guess I shouldn't expect him to be my mom because he's my husband.
And I have my pets, and my pets are a wonderful thing for me. And they really help me feel good, because their unconditional love is a wonderful thing. And unconditional love is a very difficult thing to imagine or feel if you haven't had it as a child. But, I think it's really easy to experience that with animals and in developing a relationship with Jesus. And it helped me to feel that feeling for my father, who, my relationship with him went on and off. He has bipolar disorder. And so it's been a difficult relationship because we both have propensities to have mood swings. And just being able to accept him in that and understand, where he's coming from and say, I love you today manic, and I love you tomorrow depressed. It doesn't matter, you're my dad, and it's unconditional, but I won't let you step over my boundaries. I won't let you place the blame for your condition on me. I won't let you place the blame for the actions that have caused you trouble on me. And I'm my own person, and I'm responsible for my own well-being and my happiness.